to ACC Network Basketball, presented by Ally. Here in the Bay Area, we are on the farm in Stanford, California for the first matchup in ACC play between our two teams tonight, and only the second time in program history. The Cardinal, they're going to try to turn things around on the home court against a red-hot Syracuse team who've won 3 of the last 4. Take a look at the ACC standings. This final handful of games, and already a lot of talk about the postseason. That includes conference tournament play. These two teams know it. They only take the top 15, and these two teams tonight are right in the mix. And everybody's so glad you could be with us. I'm Krista Blank alongside two-time national champ right here at Stanford, Angela Taylor. And Angela, these two teams, they've had some tough stretches as of late, but they both know they got to get things turned around right now. Postseason's right around the corner. Yeah, Stanford's in unfamiliar territory right now. The Cardinal are in jeopardy of ending their remarkable streak of 36 consecutive NCAA tournament berths. But just at the look at practice today, the players understand the mission, and they know that it starts by winning at home and holding home court, which won't be easy against a Syracuse team that's coming all the way across country and playing some of their best basketball of the season, despite the fact that they have 10 different starting lineups over the course of the last few weeks. But they have a lot of players who are playing exceptionally well right now. Yeah, they've been on a roll. They've won back-to-back games, thanks in big part to the senior Georgia Woolley. She has back-to-back double-figure scoring games. Guard Georgia Woolley is the catalyst for the Syracuse offense. She's playing extremely well with the ball in her hands, attacks the paint with reckless abandon, can take contact. You can see just her ball handling, the ability to get up and under the rim, and really is the focus for this Syracuse team, both on the offensive end and defensive end, as she's playing extremely well. Versatility for her as you see her numbers, and again, her numbers as of late, she's really stepping up, maybe just at the right time for the Orange. And then on the other side for Stanford, they've had some injuries, but they've been able to lean heavily on senior Elena Bozgana. Guard Elena Bozgana, she's a veteran player that Stanford really needs to play well today. Bozgana's ability to space the floor from the three-point line really opens up Stanford's offense. Her gravity provides driving lanes and allows those post players to get involved. Averaging 12 points and 6 rebounds on this season, Bozgana really needs to have a great performance tonight for Stanford to get a win. Yep, she certainly does. This is a Stanford team coming in after 3 straight losses, but they've had some incredibly difficult competition as of late. 5 of their last 8 are ranked, and they are led by the first-year head coach, Kate Pay. Coaching her alma mater, was associate head coach for Tar Vanderbilt for 17 years. And there is Felicia Leggett-Jack in her 3rd season. Speaking of alma maters, she's coaching hers as well. A Syracuse alum and from Syracuse, New York. And we are underway. Just the second meeting between these two programs in program history. Yeah, anticipate the first 5 minutes they're going to be feeling each other out a little bit. An open look and a break with a long rebound, another chance. That was Wood with the O-board. That's one of the things that Kate Payne talked about in practice. Stanford has to box out and limit second chance opportunities. A team that has had a tough time without their starting point guard pretty much the entire season. They've had high turnovers, but she said defense, rebounds, take care of the ball. Those will be key. Stanford's had to make some shifts. No Nunu Aguera. She is out on concussion protocol. So it's a different look for this Stanford team. As you see the starters there. E.G. Woye gets the starting nod. That's her 11th on the season. How about the second one for Mary Ashley Stevenson? She got her first start in their last game against Louisville on the road. Well, you can see already Syracuse has a lot of respect for Stevenson on that low block. A quick double and triple team as soon as she caught the ball. 6 on the shot clock. Cardinal have to recognize, and they do. Dimitri immediately on the inbound. The rebound into the hands of Bozgana, but not able to finish. Love the second chance opportunity, but you want Bozgana just to take her time with that putback. Orange trying to push tempo, and Burrows got caught underneath. Ball to the floor. Here are the starters. We mentioned Woolley. Sophie Burrows has been red hot as of late as well. Career high 28 points at Virginia Tech, a win for them there. And then 5 steals against Wake Forest. You see Camp, Wood, and also Isabel Verjao, the grad student transfer from Michigan a season ago. They have length in the guard spots. That could also pose a problem for the Cardinal. Well, Syracuse comes out playing player-to-player defense. Bozgana on the drive. That's a good sign for the Cardinal because, Angela, if the outside shots maybe don't get going early, that's got to be something that happens. They still need point production. And there's a takeaway. Hand in the passing lane. Clardy with the finish. Defense to offense for Stanford.
Great job by Clardy getting out in the passing lane. Stanford's going to need a lot of that today. Try to get some deflections, some steals, so that you can get that early offense going.
Some full court pressure. Syracuse averages about 16 turns a game, 15 turns a game for Stanford.
See Stanford switching on those on-ball screens.
Trying to get an open look for Burrows. Defense getting back to her. Good composure by Sophie Burrows, a sophomore, and they stay with it. Woolley ends up with it. And they kick it back out. Verjao can't get it.
Dimitri went with a quick double team on the low block, and that left Verjao open for that three-point shot. That's going to be open all game long.
Boscana loses the D. Shot won't go, though. Maybe felt the defender right there on her hip, as, again, Syracuse looking to push the tempo.
You can see the paces are picking up for both teams early on in this game.
Well, the Orange, they want transition offense. They want that opportunity. They know they have to get out on the shooters of the Stanford Cardinal, a team that's averaging about 7 threes a game. Boscana split the D, kicks it out to Dimitri. Too much. Good box out inside by Syracuse.
Stanford didn't get the result, but that was great ball movement on that particular play. Their offense is predicated on ball and player movement.
Syracuse just needs a bucket. Oh, for their first 6 attempts. Wood tries to get a little closer, and hand up is what Stevenson thought, but they're going to get her with the personal.
Really good idea by Wood. They're at the elbow, put the ball on the floor and attack the paint. Both of these teams are going to need to be able to try to attack the paint and play inside out.
We mentioned no Nunu Aguera, the leading scorer and sophomore for the Stanford Cardinals. She's out 5 minutes into their game at Notre Dame, so she's got to sit and watch, but they are hopeful to have her back for Sunday's game here.
They are, and you can just tell by the look on her face. Like, these are the moments that a player like Aguera want to be on the floor for her teammates. She's been playing extremely well in big games on the season, and so they'll be glad to have her back, hopefully, as she continues to recover.
Yeah, at 6'2", leads the team, 16 points, 8 rebounds, double figures 20 of their 22 games. So if they can get her back for Boston College coming in Sunday, that'll be a big plus.
Just a versatile scorer, just brings so many different ways for Stanford to get offense going.
1 for 2 for Kyra Wood, the senior out of Buffalo, New York, one of the captains on the Syracuse team, and already fresh legs coming in. Sanaya Wilson, 21 in orange, checking in.
So Syracuse brings a little bit of size off the floor by subbing Verjao out.
They'll mix up their defenses too. They have a matchup zone that they will present, as that shot way off from Clardy. And Syracuse again trying to push. Good transition D by Stanford.
Yeah, great talk and communication in transition.
Woolley pounded by Ijiwoye. And the Cardinal out running. 2-on-1 to finish good. Again, more D creating the offense.
Great job at the point of attack by Ijiwoye. She talked to us at shoot around today and just talking about how important it is for her to set the tone defensively.
And now another takeaway. 3 turns for Syracuse.
Good job getting back in transition.
And inside, the little finger roll good. Chloe Clardy getting into the action.
Yeah, Syracuse, you're going to want to pick the players up a little bit earlier. She was able to walk into a little floater in the mid-key.
4 points for Clardy, the sophomore from Conway, Arkansas. Almost a takeaway there. Able to track it down was Wilson. Trying to get the screen out to open up camp. Shot clock down to 5. Wood recognizing, gets a little closer, gets the finger roll to go.
Good footwork by Wood as the shot clock was running down.
Boscana outrunning the end one. 3-point opportunity for Elena Boscana.
Well, that is where Stanford has been at their best over the years, is converting defense into offense, getting out in transition. Just watch. Great look ahead by Clardy on the play. Excellent job by Boscana getting out transition, running her lane, and attacking the paint. Stanford's going to want to get that early offense as early as possible so that they don't have to rely on their half-court execution.
They've been looking to run at every opportunity both teams have before the defenses have been able to get set.
Well, that's the first thing that Coach Pace said to us today, defense.
Yeah.
Right? She really needs a solid defensive effort by her team for 40 minutes today.
Free throw won't go for Boscana. Good spacing. There is Shai Hawkins, who's checked into the game, the freshman from Mastic Beach, New York. Right up top, off the back of the iron was Camp, and the long rebound tracked down. Good hustle by Hawkins. One of 4 freshmen for Syracuse, and she penetrates in and dishes it down good. Wilson with the bucket.
Excellent job by Hawkins coming out. They talk about her great athleticism, and she's going to be a special player for years to come. Great job attacking the paint and kicking it to the open shooter.
Yeah, the perfect read, and it's exactly what you got to do to get some space on the interior. Bosgana.
A lot of pressure by Burrows on Bosgana.
And almost a steal and a forced turnover by Chloe Clardy. But instead, it'll stay with the orange. We'll take the timeout. 4:35 remaining. First quarter. We've got a heated affair here at Stanford. And it was Stanford getting the win over Syracuse, Angela. Now, conference foes. As you see the numbers so far, it's been a fast-paced first quarter, and Bosgana has been red hot. She's got more than Syracuse as a team.
Well, the tempo and pace really favors Bosgana because she does a great job of getting out in transition. She's one of those players that Stanford's really going to rely on if she can kind of get out of a little bit of a rut that she's been in.
They've worked it inside, 10-4, the differential paint points favoring Stanford. So see what Syracuse can do, and that one just short for Hawkins on the layup.
Nice defense by Courtney Ogden on that coming in off the bench. Did a great job of moving her feet, keeping the offensive player in front.
Handling the ball now is Ogden, the sophomore out of Atlanta, Georgia, and she's going to get it back and give it up. Right corner, that one won't go though. That's Tess Hill's checked in, but another chance. Stanford not giving up Dimitri. High archer swish. Got her legs under it, and that was a good look.
Beautiful ball movement by Stanford. And the key for that has been early on in this game, they had 10 points in the paint, and that's opened it up. The driving lanes are going to open it up to kick out to wide open shooters.
Yeah, gave a much more open look for her as the right baseline, much needed and good. Sanaya Wilson with the bucket. 4 points for Wilson.
Nice job by Wilson spotting up in that short corner. That's going to be open oftentimes with that team helping off with their players.
Senior out of Rochester, New York, the transfer from Buffalo a couple of seasons ago. She came along with Coach Jack, who was the head coach at Buffalo. Dimitri, you don't want her to get the hot hand.
We don't, and that's good for them to see. Again, Dimitri's been in a little bit of a slump as well, but the guards are doing a great job of penetrating and kicking it out to open shooters.
Stanford continued to push pace, back-to-back threes for Dimitri. We'll see what Ogden can do in the paint, and that one won't go. Hawkins looking for help. And wide open. Verjao back in off the back of the iron. Batted around. It'll stay with Syracuse.
Brooke Dimitri is one of those players for Stanford that really, they need her to get going. And right now, in this first quarter, her guards are doing a great job of finding her at the three-point line where she has space and time. Dimitri is one of the best three-point shooters in the conference.
Coming into the game, Stanford had a game at Notre Dame where they had 29 turnovers. Then the close loss, though, at Louisville. And Kate Pace said, coming in, organize yourself. Get out on the floor and recognize what you're in, trying to get the team to just kind of cut into the turnover situation as of late. Again, no Talana Lapolo, their veteran point guard this year. She's been out with the injury the entire way, so it's kind of point guard by committee.
And Kate Pay being that point guard, you know how much you rely on that floor general, someone to be able to be the leader on the floor.
The takeaway by the Cardinal. They'll skip it across. Can Dimitri do it on the right side? Yes, she can.
Well, Syracuse went to their matchup zone on that particular possession, which is going to leave open threes, and Stanford did a great job with their ball movement.
6-0 run by the Cardinal. 3 threes in a row for Dimitri, and there's a nice move by Verjao inside.
Great move. The help came over the double team, but Verjao was still be able to split the double team with a nice turnaround jumper.
Asking for it inside. That's Ume's checked in. Kennedy Ume, the freshman from Columbia, Maryland. I expect Kate Pay to go pretty deep in the rotation. Extra pass paying off there. Clardy with another three.
The ball movement for Stanford is on point right now. 4 of 7 from the three-point line, shooting 57%. They're a different team when they're able to hit their threes.
Largest lead of the game for Stanford, up by 13, and that went off the mark from outside for Velez, who's checked in. Angelica Velez, a sophomore for the Orange. Minute 28 left. It's going to stay right here.
Well, you can see Ogden on that play. She kind of grabbed her back a little bit. I know that's one of the things the team has been monitoring.
Both teams going to the bench, bringing in fresh legs, trying to maybe find a spark if you are Syracuse. Yeah, you got to be careful with Ogden. Again, just some injuries here and there. And there's a beautiful hand in the passing lane. Woolley takeaway. Pulls it up. Just off. We saw her in shoot-arounds, and there's not giving up on the play. Up and good. Finger roll. Gets the shooter's touch was Burrows.
Great job getting back by Dimitri on that play, but just when she got the rebound, she should have dribbled out to kick the ball to the outlets on that play.
Scrappy effort on the defensive end as Boscana wants to get into the three-ball action.
Well, when Stanford was at their best early on in this season, they were hitting threes and they were shooting them at a rapid clip, and that's what we're seeing early on against that Syracuse zone.
9 points for Boscana. She leads all scorers, and it's kind of a double-edged sword at times for Stanford. It's not something that K-Pay says, I want us to only do, but when they've got the hot hands going, why not?
Well, they're getting great threes right now. It's coming out of dribble penetration and paint touches.
Woolley wanted a foul, didn't get the whistle, as there was some contact, and they weren't going to give it to her. Dimitri gets a little closer, hits it. Good read by Dimitri on the D there.
Well, Woolley, after Dimitri's hit a few threes, Woolley did a great job, and she came out and closed out. Excellent job by Dimitri, just a little slight pump fake.
Dimitri up to 11 points this first quarter. Stanford 4 for their last 4 as the first quarter is winding down. 5 seconds left on the clock, and a whistle and a foul. This time Woolley will go to the free throw line.
Well, both Burrows and Woolley have the ability to put the ball on the floor and attack Stanford's defense off the dribble. Look for them to try to do that. Space the floor a little bit more in the second quarter coming up and attack the paint off the dribble.
Dimitri gets a much-deserved rest. She's giving it her all at both ends of the floor.
It's one of those things you don't want to cool off that hot hand.
That's right. I think I'd jog in place.
On it.
I might go jog in place if I'm Brooke Dimitri.
Well, I never had the hot hand, so I wouldn't know what you would do.
I don't know. They were talking about you today here, Angela Taylor. As Dimitri will take a seat. Georgia Woolley, the senior out of Brisbane, Australia. Over 1,000 career points at Syracuse alone. Over 1,500 career points. She transferred also from Buffalo to follow Coach Leggett Jack, the head coach there for 10 seasons. And that says a lot about Coach Jack and these players wanting to follow her and play for her. It's the free throws. Clock winding down. Ijiwaye! You bet! First quarter feels like a national championship right now for that young player, the freshman. And Stanford will take this double-digit lead into the second quarter.
We see a big smile on her face, for sure. And Stanford's 5 of their last 5 capped off with that beautiful full-court transition layup by Ijiwaye. Stanford's up 16.
Getting ready for the second quarter here in Stanford, California. A fast-paced first one, and it was Brooke Dimitri getting the hot hand behind the arc, Angela.
Dimitri playing extremely well right now, and she's not forcing shots, doing an excellent job just spotting up on the corner. Her guards are doing an excellent job of attacking the paint off the dribble, reversing the ball, leading to Dimitri getting some wide-open looks. She already has 11 points, only averages 9 on the season, so playing extremely well here in the first quarter, and a lot of that is due in part to Stanford's efficient offense. 12 points in the paint, so they're attacking the paint, which is going to collapse that Syracuse defense and leave their three-point shooters open, who are now shooting 63% from the floor from 3 already in the first quarter.
Well, if there's one thing you know about this Syracuse team is that they are a team that's not going to give up. They're a team that's been able to claw their way back in multiple games, and a team that from about January 5th on, after their Florida State game, they started to really figure it out, and they've had so many close games since then. Really only one in which they weren't able to stay in it. The rest, 5 points or less.
Yeah, Syracuse's going to want to execute offensively, but defensively is probably where the coaching staff is focused on in the huddle.
Yep.
And Coach Jack said, you want to be up in those shooters. Don't give them any space at all. They've done that in the first quarter, and Stanford has been able to get going.
Yep, she wanted her team to dictate what Stanford did, not the other way around. Let's see if they can do it here as that long pass and not able to save it. It'll go the other way, so already a plus for Syracuse.
Well, in that half-court offense, again, when Syracuse is in that zone, you do want the ball movement. Try to get the ball in the middle of the floor right there. That was a really difficult pass across court against a big Syracuse team that has a lot of length on the perimeter.
Yeah, they do. They just need to use it to their advantage. Journey Thompson's checked in, number 2 in orange in the high post. Transfer from Arizona State this past season. Only 2 transfers in this year to go along with 4 freshmen, but a lot of new, and that's a beautiful open look as Clardy's holding the left shoulder. It opened things up for Georgia Woolley.
Yeah, Clardy got hit on that screen. She went behind the screen, and that left Woolley wide open for 3. You cannot go behind.
Her first 3, and speaking of, Tess Heel, the junior transfer from Santa Clara, getting into the action.
Again, if you're Syracuse, you have to move when the ball is in the air and close out on those shooters. Do not give Stanford too much room to get their shots off.
Something they worked on, and they knew it wasn't going to be easy. Working it inside, and a beautiful touch. Kyra Wood with the bucket. She's averaging 12 points a game.
Wood one-on-one on a low block against Stevenson. Did a great job and had a lot of patience on that low block.
Ball tipped. It'll stay with Stanford. 22 on the shot clock. I like the play of Kyra Wood. She's been fighting through a hip injury this whole season, but she'd rather be out there than not.
Well, Syracuse extending this defensive pressure a little bit beyond the three-point line.
Dimitri squares it up. Too much on that one, and the rebound down to Thompson, but then Clardy not giving up on it. The jumper good.
And Stanford's done a nice job again, not giving up on rebounds and just hanging out a little bit on that outlet pass.
Madeline Potts is checked in, 17 in orange, a freshman out of Australia, rattles that one down.
Right,
nothing like getting some gravy off the bench, right?
It is. And just as soon as you say that, as soon as the ball is out of the rim, if you're Syracuse, that cannot happen. On a make, you cannot let Stanford get a wide open layup at the other end of the floor.
Mary Ashley Stevenson, second start of her career here at Stanford. The sophomore from New York, New York. And the transfer from Purdue. High post jumper, no good, and it'll stay here as Stevenson was trying to get the box out. Instead, they'll say the foul on her.
Stanford's defensive pressure at the point of attack has been really good here in the first half. Chloe Carty did a great job here, just hanging on a little bit on that outlet pass. Really difficult to pass cross-court in traffic, and there Clardy was for the steal in the lay.
Clardy with 9 points. She's averaging 9 points a game. Already to the average on the season. It's a bright spot for Stanford. They've been trying to find others without Nunu Aguirre again for 2 games in a row. Who can fill some of that void?
Well, we talked to Coach Pay and asked what needs to happen, and she said everyone needs to do a little bit more.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that early on in this ballgame.
Sure. Boscana was open. The high arcing shot won't go, and a rebound down. Burrows will push. Right corner, just hitting one. How about another? Maddie Potts, back-to-back hoops.
Great job by Potts coming off the bench. She's wide open. No one is coming out and guarding her. You have to find the shooters.
Dimitri, short. Didn't quite get the legs under that one. Now Woolley gonna push.
This is gonna be a key couple minutes for Syracuse to close this gap and get it down below double digits.
Yep, just chip away. It's be a big plus. They're winning this quarter so far, 11-7. And a travel call the other way. Hey, the number 12 Tar Heels highlight next Thursday night. ACC Network Women's Basketball doubleheader. Alyssa Usby leads the balanced Carolina attack against Georgia Woolley and the Syracuse Orange. 6 o'clock Eastern, and then it's Carly Wenzel and Virginia Tech hosting Nunu Aguirre and Stanford. Should be another great night of hoops here on the ACC Network. And this is what you got to do if you're Syracuse coming out in this one. They've looked much more focused, Angela, in the second quarter.
Really extending this zone defense. You can see what's open is the baseline, so Stanford needs to get the ball in the middle of the floor and have some runners there on the baseline or the short corner.
They try it right there, Juwoye, and now they work it around again. Shot clock down to 4. Baseline jumper rattles out. But the right idea by the Cardinal.
Definitely good idea. This Syracuse zone is starting to settle in a little bit and force Stanford into some tough shots.
That's Olivia Schmidt, another freshman for Syracuse. As the help D coming up, going to get whistled for the foul.
Well, Dimitri hedged on that on-ball screen, a little bit too aggressive on that as the guard was coming off of it. And this, her second foul, looks like Coach Pay is going to leave her in right now, but you're going to need Dimitri to still play aggressive defensively, but aggressive without fouling.
Just the first personal, second on the Cardinal. As Camp's going to set things back up. What a story Dominique Camp is. Multiple transfers. As there's Clardy. She's been so active on the defensive end. Jouoye able to get some help. Clardy up top. Dimitri, right place, right time. Another chance. Heel, swish. Too many chances for the Cardinal.
Yeah, and it's really subtle on that play, but Heel just did a slight little pass fake to the wing, and that left her wide open for that shot. Really nice patience with the ball.
Just those little things, right?
Subtle little moves.
That's exactly what Coach Pay said today. Work and do the little things. As Help D dropping down. Woolley had the look, couldn't get the shot to go. You knew Worley's wanting to play well today. She's got family in from Australia. Her parents made a long trip. They're going to be here for this Bay Area swing. You always want to play well in front of your family. Off the backboard, didn't hit the rim, and tracking it down was Ogden. And she's going to go to the free throw line.
Stanford playing well offensively and shooting it particularly well from the three-point line. Tess Hill right there with a nice subtle move. Stanford's up 13. It really was.
Everybody kind of facing one another and uniting in this one.
Well, it's one of the things I think that we all love about sports. It brings people together from different backgrounds, and everyone has that same goal, and that's to be able to come together to win a game, win a championship.
It certainly does. And throughout the season, and that's something that both of these teams have been trying to do, is really come together, and a lot of new pieces on both sides, new coaches, new conference for Stanford. And it takes time to gel, get the chemistry. I think for Syracuse, they were hoping putting it together at the right time, winning 3 of their last 4. Kate Pay and her staff taking over for Tara Vanderveer, as Ogden can't get the free throws. See if Syracuse can capitalize. They've been on a bit of a scoring drought, almost 3 minutes without a score. They could use it.
Not a lot of movement for Syracuse right now. You see the folks on the weak side just standing around and waiting for the ball to be reversed.
They connected on a few threes this quarter, though. It's helped out as Burrows used the screen too much on it, and now Stanford looking to push once again. Ogden outrunning the collision up high. And now Syracuse trying to make a push. Miscue on the D. And Woolley not able to make him pay as Burrows able to save it.
When Syracuse has done a nice job going to the glass on those long three-point shots right now. Already 5 offensive rebounds on the evening. Stanford needs to do a much better job of boxing out. It's really difficult to box out on those long jumpers.
Boy, tough game so far for Sophie Burrows, the sophomore from Victoria, Australia. 1 of 6 shooting, 0 for 2 behind the arc.
Well, defense is really standing out for both teams. Stanford's won of their last 7 from the floor, and Syracuse is on a 3.5-minute scoring drought.
Into the high post, trying to get free. That's Stevenson, and she loses it. And if you are Syracuse, some defensive effort's going to have to kick in and help you out.
And that zone has done a nice job of slowing Stanford's offense down. They don't have the same ball movement or player movement that they did in the first quarter.
Trying to go high-low, and a triple team inside, and a jump ball. A help D, good rotation.
Excellent job on the pass. You saw 2 players come over in help and arrived on the catch, and that made it really difficult.
Coach Jack was up. She would have liked a whistle to go against the Stanford triple team, and instead it goes back to the Cardinal.
And Stanford running their player-to-player offense against this matchup zone.
And all by herself, working it in good. Mary Ashley Stevenson with the bucket.
Excellent job. The middle of that zone is going to be soft. And so if you can move the ball, if you can get the ball in the high post, reverse it, you're going to have those one-on-one opportunities.
Woolley trying to use the high screen. She's going to give it up. Verjao. Just off.
Verjao with a great look over the smaller Ijiwe.
Grad transfer from Michigan a couple seasons ago. She's from Brazil and is part of their national team.
A nice basketball pedigree for the Verjao family.
It sure is. Oh, that one just off for Stevenson, yeah. Isabel's uncle Anderson played for the Cavaliers, played in the NBA for 13 seasons. He's now working for them. He's here in town. It's All-Star Weekend here in the Bay Area. And so Syracuse, they'll head to Berkeley. They'll play Cal on Sunday. So they're going to try to take advantage. Going to go to a game on Friday night.
How great is that?
That's awesome. What a fun experience.
And for many of these players, their first time traveling to California and being in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Nice.
Again, Stevenson looking forward inside. Her teammates finding her.
Great patience by Stanford. That high post against the zone is going to be open, and when you catch the ball in the high post, you have to turn and make quick decisions. That was an excellent job by Bozgana, looking to dump it down to Stevenson on that low block.
Mary Ashley Stevenson's going to go to the line, the sophomore in her second start. And gets the first one to drop. This is a Stanford team that's had a tough time as of late, Angela. They've lost 3 in a row. They've played 5 of their last 8 games, though, have been against ranked opponents. As you can see, they had to go to Duke. The Cal Bears are in that mix. And it has not been an easy stretch for them.
Yeah, the middle part of that schedule was really difficult for Stanford, but those are the opportunities to continue to get better. And you can see it today. They're on a 7-0 run right now, just playing well and executing, doing the little things that Coach Pay talked about.
Yep, they absolutely have cleaned some things up from the road trip.
But ACC is a gauntlet. It is not easy on any given night, right?
You're so right.
So much
difficult.
talent, so much talent.
And 6 teams in the top 25, 7 teams in the top 40 net, and a couple of teams receiving votes for national rankings. We're under a minute left in the first quarter. That was a layup from Woolley at the other end, and now a trap up top causing problems for Clardy. The Cardinal hang on to it. Ume back in, skips it across. Bozgana weaves her way up, no good. Big board from Potts. Jack wanting to foul, she doesn't get it. Coach Jack is up and talking to the officiating crew. Got a second differential shot clock, game clock. Fast first half in this one. Trying to take it all the way in, and the miscue, this clock winding down, and that'll do it. The Cardinal with a big first quarter, a much closer second. But the Cardinals still hanging on to the double-digit lead here on the home floor. Brooke Dimitri lighting things up behind the arc. She's 3 of 6 from three-point land. 7 threes for the Stanford Cardinal. We'll take the timeout. We've got more for you here at halftime. Back inside Maples Pavilion here at Stanford, and it's a 15-point lead for the Stanford Cardinal. Crystal Blanc alongside Angela Taylor. And Angela, a better second quarter for Syracuse, but the defense of Stanford was pretty stifling in the first half.
Stanford's defense set the tone, and we know Stanford has a great offense. They're known for their offense, but early on in this ball game, Chloe Clardy got them going, getting out in passing lanes and getting this easy layup a minute and a half into the game. She already has 4 steals on the game. Stanford has 6, and that set the tone and the tempo for them. They're holding Syracuse to 23% from the three-point line. So the coaching staff and Coach Pay in particular have to be really excited about the defensive effort.
No doubt about it. And Brooke Dimitri then offensively was able to get herself set up and squared up behind the arc.
When Stanford's offense is good, it's really good, and that's due to ball movement and player movement. The guards have done a great job attacking the paint and setting up open shooters, and Brooke Dimitri has been the beneficiary of a lot of that great passing.
7 made threes as a team for Stanford in the first half, and for Syracuse, they connected on a few to start that second quarter, then went on a big scoring drought. We'll see if they can get some offense going as the third quarter is underway.
Well, Syracuse really needs to attack the paint. They have not been able to turn the corner, get in the paint to get some easy looks or to be able to kick it out to shooters.
Yeah, they've really wanted to get the outside shots to go, and when they weren't, they didn't have another option. But if they can work it inside just a bit more, I think it would maybe set some things up for them on the outside.
Yeah, Smith getting the start here in the second half because she was able to come in off the bench and get some open looks for Syracuse in that first half.
Cut up on the interior. Skipper Huskin, no Nunu Guerre for the Cardinal as Boscana. That's how she started the first half.
Exactly how Stanford got us going. They didn't start out shooting threes. They started out attacking the paint off the dribble.
Such a key piece to what they do if they can get both inside-outside game going. Boscana tips that one up. She's got 11 points. And a whistle and a foul from behind going to go against the Cardinal.
Stanford's length on the perimeter, particularly with Boscana, giving Syracuse problems. They have great length, and when they get high hands, they make those passing lanes really difficult to thread the needle.
Kate Pay in her first season, they're 3-9 in the ACC. What a difficult non-conference schedule. And they come in with a strength of schedule of 12. They have really had some tough competition. That's a much-needed hoop. That's Schmidt with the 3-ball.
Spacing the floor a little bit. And again, Stanford getting the ball out quickly in transition. Good decision to pull it out.
Good defense by Syracuse to get back and stop that. It looked like it might be a layup opportunity. And the back cut, though, by Dimitri, a mismatch defensively.
Great job by Clardy. When you're trying to deny somebody the ball at the perimeter, that quick backdoor cut by Dimitri. Excellent job and a better pass by Clardy.
Woolley, her length, trying to go right at Ijiwoye, and they get tied up. And they'll say it's going to stay here as Georgia Woolley, the senior from Brisbane, Australia, got tangled up with Ijiwoye.
Yeah, like you love the hustle at both ends of the floor. And for Stanford offensively, when they have their offense going, they're able to get a lot of backdoor cuts because defensively you have to honor them at the three-point line, you have to honor them off the dribble, and that leaves that ball movement and that beautiful passing that Stanford is known for.
2 team fouls on Stanford. That last one on Ijiwoye. Clardy matched up with Georgia Woolley now. Verjaal's been asking for it. Shot short from Woolley. Long rebound. Good effort by Wood to keep it alive. Verjaal again really wanting the ball in the interior here. One-on-one against Dimitri. Up and under, finger roll good, and that is why.
Great footwork by Verjaal. One-on-one on the low block, was really patient with it and had been demanding the ball the entire possession, as you mentioned. Isabel Verjao is one of those players, when she gets great low block position, she's tough to stop, and she's been demanding the ball the entire second half. Great job with the up and under over Brooke Dimitri on that play. Maybe that'll get Syracuse's offense going. They need more paint touches, whether it's off the dribble or getting the ball to the low block.
Yep, I agree completely. Maybe that's all it takes to get them going. Another foul called on Syracuse there, second. And it goes against Woolley, her first. Tess Hill to start this third quarter. Help D coming over, shutting her down. Dimitri outside. Can't get that one. Now Syracuse looking to push. And I think the clock not moving. Officials will take a look. Lisa Jones, Bruce Morris, and Saifesho, our trio tonight.
When I like early on in this third quarter, the tempo and the pace with which Syracuse is playing offensively. In the first half, it looked like they were standing around a little bit, just waiting to see what the person with the ball was going to do. Here, there's much more player movement and ball movement.
Sure, an emphasis for Coach Leggett Jack. She told the team today, she said, you've got to bring the energy. You've got to have that hunger in your belly. And she wanted them to come out and make a statement. So 7:28 remaining in the third quarter. They're going to figure out the clock. We'll take the timeout. More from Stanford when we return. Both of our coaches tonight are now head coaches for their alma maters, Angela. And it's pretty special. You know, Kate Pay in her first season as the head coach, but has been here 17 seasons prior as associate head coach. Felicia Leggett-Jack, she was an assistant coach for a few years at Syracuse and then made her way back now in the third season as the head coach. But from Syracuse, New York, grew up, she could see the dome being built from her home. Pretty remarkable.
It is. What I love what she said to us today was, it is everything for me to have the opportunity to coach at Syracuse.
Yeah,
and I know that same thing is true for Kate to be able to coach at Stanford.
There's no doubt. Walked on this program. Her family had been here. She was born in Stanford Hospital. She wanted to be part of this program, and then a travel call on Woolley there.
Well, and Kate has. She was a key part of that 1992 national championship team as a point guard, a great defender on that team, and then also an assistant coach when Stanford won again in 2021.
What was she like? You played with her briefly here at Stanford, part of the championship team. What was it like to play with Kate Pay? She's pretty competitive, I think.
Kate was so competitive, so intense in practices you knew you were going to get better because she was going to defend you hard. She was going to play hard all the time, and she constantly got better and worked on her game in the off season. And as a walk-on, to be able to start in some key games and championship moments, that's pretty special.
I think both coaches, super competitors that love their alma maters and want these programs to succeed. There's no doubt about it. Stanford on the inbound. They'll say Syracuse tipped it. It stays with the Cardinal.
Good job by Wood of getting her hand on that ball. But otherwise, it looked like Dimitri had an open lane to the rim. A lot of stoppage of play. Looks like that kind of pace and tempo is slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, they fixed the shot clock situation. Shai Hawkins back in, up guarding Clardy. Clardy's having quite a game. 9 points, 9 assists, and 4 steals. And there's good defensive help there. The takeaway. Woolley by herself and rattles that one down. Much needed 3 for Woolley. She's got 10 points. That's her first or second 3 rather of the game.
And Smith has done a nice job coming in and playing some key roles here in the second half. Nice job in transition and kicking it back for the trailer for that wide open 3.
High hedge and a trap. Heel puts that one away.
Well, that's some early offense for Stanford. We haven't seen them get some wide open 3s lately in this game. Syracuse's defense has done a much better job of running Stanford off the 3-point line.
9 points for Heel off the bench. It's a nice spark to come in for the Cardinal. Woolley drives it in, lays it up good, and 1 for Georgia Woolley. And now she's starting to get going.
Yeah, 3 for 12 from the floor. Wasn't seeing the ball go through the rim, but has gotten some good looks on the game. Sometimes you just need to see the ball go through the net. Great job curling off the screen. Clardy goes behind the screen. She really has a little bit of a step. Does a great job. And then once she gets herself to the free throw line, we've seen that she has the capability of finishing with contact.
Her numbers lately have been spectacular, averaging 15 points per game. Had double figures in the last 2, 21 points for Wake Forest, and she went to the line 8 of 10 for the free throw line in that one. She's aggressive in the guard spot. She's not afraid to take it in, but that was something early on that Syracuse wasn't getting to the line. They've only been there now 4 times tonight.
Yeah, well, and Woolley is really good when she gets to the line. She's second in the ACC in free throw percentage, shooting 87% from the free throw line.
Yeah, so you want her to find the strike. Can't get that one, though.
That's her jinx. My bad on that.
Doesn't get the 3-point play, but cuts into the deficit. Dimitri had a look momentarily, and Stanford will work a little more clock. Good spacing by the Cardinal. Clardy and Stevenson working the left side, and a beautiful feed, a perfect angle from Stevenson to Bozgana.
Well, you named it. The floor spacing for Stanford on that possession was exceptional, and that led to that nice backdoor cut by Bozgana. She's done that a couple times in the second half already.
14 assists on 20 made field goals for the Cardinal. They'll take that number. D as Wood squeezes that one up. She's going to go to the line.
Stanford, when their offense is flowing, it's beautiful basketball. Here in the second half, there's a lot of floor spacing. Excellent freshmen and sophomores for the last 6 games have been accounting for 74% of Stanford scoring, as Dimitri and Bozgana were in a little bit of a slump. So great to see them get it going early on this ball game, and we see how much it's opened up their offense for Stanford.
It has. It's just spread it out more, and they need more. Again, no Nunu Aguera, who averages 16 points a game. You've got to fill that void. They are hopeful to have her back for Sunday's matchup against Boston College. But before the timeout, Kyra Wood able to take it inside and get to the free throw line. The first one good for the senior out of Buffalo. She's a 4-year captain on this team. I think that says a lot about her and her leadership for this group.
Yeah, Coach talks about she's the vocal leader for this squad. They rely on her quite a bit. She's active on campus and on the basketball court.
Call her the mother hen. She's become more of a vocal leader also. But the free throw's good for Wood. She's had double figures, 8 of their last 10. They'd love to get her going. Is that one just short for Heel? Schmidt back in, running the point, trying to push tempo. Willing inside, help D, getting a hand on it. Yep, and what recognition from Clardy.
Great court awareness by Clardy on that play. Grabbed the steal, was able to kick it ahead to Tess Heel. But great help side defense by Stanford, just digging in on the low block and getting that steal.
11 points for Heel off the bench, and that one blocked by the Cardinal D.
Good decision to pull it out. Tess was tempted to take another 3.
Chloe Clardy in her 11th start tonight, sophomore. She's making some good decisions, and Stanford's taking care of the ball much better. That one tipped. Here's Ume. And a travel call. Good D by the Orange. And Coach Jack is up clapping. She liked that effort.
It's that defensive effort, getting deflections. Syracuse has great length, and so they need to do a better job of getting those high hands, getting their hands in passing lanes, and trying to create some deflections so they can get out in transition.
I love the energy of Coach Leggett Jack, and she talked about energy so much today with her team, and if they're not bringing it the way they want it, you know she's going to be bringing it.
Well, at this stage in the season, oftentimes it is the coaching staff that has to bring that energy to get these players over the hump.
Yeah, this is that point of the year where the season starts to get a little bit long, but so important are these final games as that one around and won't fall. Foul on the interior is going to go against Kyra Wood.
Well, Syracuse has done a nice, consistent job of attacking the offensive glass, and they've had plenty of opportunities to get those second chance opportunities. 7 offensive rebounds thus far. Stanford's doing a little bit better down here in the second half of boxing out.
Fresh legs coming on for the Orange. Sanaya Wilson's back in. So is Dominique Camp. Dominique Camp was recruited. She started out in the junior college level. She was recruited by Coach Jack. Didn't end up going that route, but found her at Buffalo, and she's transferred around some, and now found her again, but out on the right side, it's Bozgana finding the 3-ball.
Beautiful offense. Tess Hill did an excellent job of navigating that double team and trap on the ball. She got it out quickly to the middle of the floor.
16 for Bozgana. Beautiful little hook to the right side. Sophie Burrows with the bucket.
And Sophie Burrows, when she's navigating the middle of the paint, she has a nice job able to go either way.
Ume asking for it inside, and able to stay with her was Barajal. Wilson guarded by Dimitri and guarded well. Clardy picked up by Wilson. Good length of Wilson at 6 feet, and now they switch. Oh, and the fake one way to cut the other as Clardy knocked to the floor, and Syracuse has numbers. Nice screen, the shot off the mark for Burrows.
Stanford dodged a bullet on that play. It was 5-on-4 for Syracuse, but they got out of that possession.
Just under 2 minutes left, the third quarter. Clardy, right corner, hits it. Chloe Clardy, picking up a big game tonight. She's got a double-double, Angela. We'll take the timeout. 1:42 remaining. Largest lead of the game for the Cardinal, up 18. Krista Blunt, Angela Taylor with you here at Stanford, and a 6-0 run and a timeout needed for Syracuse.
We're seeing a lot of unity from Stanford on offense. 17 assists on 23 field goals made. They're connected offensively, moving the ball, passing well, and being really unselfish with the ball.
4 players in double figures.
Shy Hawkins, that's one of the things that we're going to anticipate she's going to be able to do for you. A young player, but super talented with a lot of athleticism.
Mentioned before that timeout, Clardy with the double-double. That's her first double-double of her career, the sophomore. Having a night.
Yeah, 10 assists, her career high assists as well. Just playing really well on both ends of the floor, defensively and offensively.
High pick, roll, and the finish. Mary Ashley Stevenson.
Syracuse is going to have to put more pressure on the ball handler so they can't make those easy passes. Great backdoor cut right there by Marajal.
Great recognition. Saw the D perfectly and able to finish. Under a minute left in this one. Woolley, the only orange player in double digits. That one will go. The rebound down to Kira Scott, who's checked in for the first time, the 6'1" freshman. Gives it up, and the lefty layup good. Shy Hawkins with the drive.
Well, nice shot by Hawkins. There was no help side by Stanford at all on that play. Hawkins did a great job putting the ball on the, Hawkins did put the ball on the floor and attacking the rim.
I read that perfectly. She has 4 points. Clardy guarded by Hawkins. The clock winding down to 5. And partially blocked by Barry Zhao. And that will do it for this third quarter. The effort's still there for Syracuse. They dug a little bit of a hole. 1 more quarter to go here at Stanford. Getting ready for the fourth quarter here at Maples Pavilion, and it's Bozgana that we talked about to start this one, how important it was to get her going. Well, she's gotten her game going here tonight, Angela.
Coming into this game, Elena Bozgana was going to have to put her imprint on this game, and she did from the start in a myriad of different ways. She's getting it from outside with wide open threes, in transition, doing an excellent job of putting the ball on the floor and attacking the paint, going backdoor on backdoor cuts and getting layups, and defensively is doing a solid job. She's got 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists on the game. On the season against Florida State, she had 21 points, 15 rebounds, and 6 assists, only the second player in the country to have those numbers.
Yeah, really impressive. She started every single game, the senior from Athens, Greece, and started every single game last year as well. But her role has definitely elevated this season after the big graduation to multiple players last year. You had Brink, you had Hannah Jump, and then you have Kikiri Oppen head down to USC. A lot to fill as Ogden gets it tipped away. Syracuse, they have some answers. Velez back on and gives it up as Scott gets the start this quarter.
Well, if you're Syracuse, it's only a 14-point game, so you need some stops and scores.
We were looking to every single quarter except for the first quarter. It has been a 1-point differential. It's been very close. Can they push it ahead in this one?
It starts at this end of the floor for Syracuse. Can you get a stop?
The drive to the left. Tess Hill gets knocked to the floor, and a whistle on a foul is going to go against Syracuse. Hill's going to go to the line. The junior from Melbourne, Australia, transferred in this year, and she's one of very few transfers that come into Stanford. It's not been really their bread and butter to go to that portal.
Well, she's one of very few guards in this country making 50% of her field goals and 50% from 3.
Yeah, the only one in a power conference to do that. That's efficiency.
Don't leave her open.
Free throw's good. for Tess Hill. 13 for Hill off the bench.
You see Stanford just packing the paint a little bit.
Scott squares it up. Doesn't connect. Bozgana will bring it up. Hill thought about it. Steps in, around and out. And Kira Scott's going to get the board and push tempo. Layoff just off the mark for Hawkins. Had a good look, just got a little off balance. And the Cardinal make him pay. There's Stevenson with another hoop.
Clardy with her 11 assists on the game. Great job by Stevenson of running the floor, putting the defender in a bind. It was basically 2-on-1 on that break, and Clardy made an excellent pass.
10 points, now 5 Cardinal with double figures. Scott, high to low, drives it up, can't get it. And Dimitri with another rebound. 8-4 to the game for Brooke Dimitri.
Stanford doing a good job of determining when they want to push the tempo, when they want to just go ahead and pull it back out and get into their half-court offense, take some time off.
I think they've had good composure, good patience, and decision-making.
Well, over the years, they've relied so much on great point guard play, and now they're doing point guard by committee.
Yeah.
Today, we've seen some really good performances. Tess Hill has come in and done a nice job. Chloe Clardy's done an excellent job. Ijiwoye has done an exceptional job, both defensively and offensively as well.
Hill will have the inbound. Good anticipation. That's Camp. Hand in the passing lane to steal, and good defense to offense.
And just chip away for Syracuse. Continue to put pressure on the ball. Force Stanford outside of their comfort zone and off that three-point line, getting passing lanes.
First points of the game for Dominique Camp, who's coming off of the double-double in their win at Virginia Tech. As Bozgana gets fouled going up for the layup. She'll go to the line.
Another example of good offense. Syracuse did a nice job rotating over and help and recovering. Stanford just did a better job of moving the ball with the pass. It's so much quicker moving the ball with the pass, and they found the open shooter.
Every time it felt like Syracuse has been able to make a push or go on a bit of a run, it seems like Stanford has had an answer.
Well, and credit to Bozgana. There's a lot of pressure on her to be able to show up and be consistent on the season, because she is that player that has the ability to be explosive offensively.
And coming up next, the Nothing But Net crew is going to break down the night in the ACC with highlights, analysis, every women's game on the evening, and look ahead to some of the best matchups on the schedule for the weekend. We've got you covered all season right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. There are some fun matchups ahead over this weekend as Woolley squares it up and sticks it.
Great job. Ijiwoye went behind the screen on that play.
Outrunning, but not quite able to get that one with Stevenson. Both teams looking to get quick opportunities before the defense gets set. Woolley again, almost.
And again, if you're Stanford, you cannot go behind the screens on Woolley. She will step back and take that three.
And she is definitely always looking. 35% three-point shooter. Bozgana up and under. Not there. And Woolley comes down with it. And looking ahead. Wood, good recognition to find her teammate across. And just missing as Woolley on her knees. And that is the way the night has gone for Syracuse so often. With a right look and hustle, but just not able to finish.
Great hustle, good ball movement, just cannot get the ball to go down.
And a timeout called by Stanford with just under 6 minutes remaining in the game. Boy, the effort has been there for Syracuse.
Now, and you just look at the top, Notre Dame and Duke playing exceptionally well. The tournament is going to be so much fun to watch. You got to love March Madness.
I love it. Greensboro will be the site for the ACC tournament. And those top 15 teams will make their way there. try to get that automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. As out of the timeout, Heel adds to her totals. She's in double digits, now with 15.
Great patience with the ball by Hill. She's not just a three-point shooter. The ability to attack the paint off the dribble opens up her game.
Woolley on the drive, gets fouled, and will go back to the free throw line. 2 for 3 from the stripe for Woolley, and she's going to get a chance to add to it. She has 15. She's the only player for Syracuse in double digits. We've had some scoring droughts at times, but Stanford dominated the first quarter. But after that, it was really so close every single quarter after.
It has been pretty balanced on both sides here in the last 3 quarters, and it's been extremely physical. That last play is a great indication of how physical this ball game and truly just conference is. If you are a faint of hearts, this is not the conference for you.
That's so true. Rare miss from the line for Woolley. The parents, Sue and Adam, making their way from Australia for this Bay Area trip, and they'll continue to travel. It's something. She actually was homeschooled for a year, and they went out and just caravanned around for a year, and that's a fun experience for a young athlete.
Yeah, and her parents are going to take advantage of this trip while Syracuse is out here on the West Coast. They're going to go up to Canada and check out British Columbia, as well as watch some good quality ACC hoops.
5 minutes left in the game. Syracuse will head over to Cal for the game on Sunday. We'll have that one for you, 3 o'clock Pacific time, as Stevenson is really starting to get comfortable in this system.
Excellent screen and roll by Stevenson, and a phenomenal pass by Chloe Clardy. She's done a great job of just running the offense today.
Another takeaway by Clardy with her first career double-double. 12 assists, 12 points. Drive on the left side as Heel gets fouled. Fans in the stands. Syracuse actually has a pretty good group of fans here in the stands, as the mom and dad we talked about for Woolley, her parents are here. The uncle of Berejau here, Anderson Berejau, with All-Star Weekend, and then you also have McNabb family here. Yeah, Lexi McNabb's parents, Donovan, his mom Roxy, who played for Coach Leggett Jack.
It's great when you're traveling so far from home to be able to have some fans. And they also talked about there's a huge alumni base out in California that they anticipated were going to come.
Yep, some orange in the stands for sure. We just saw Donovan McNabb. We've not seen Lexi yet, but
he has to be happy about his Eagles.
Absolutely.
Bringing home the Super Bowl championship.
So there is Lexi McNabb as she checks in for the first time, the junior from Chandler, Arizona. And she'll bring it up.
And is it any wonder that she's a point guard, getting those quarterback genes from her dad?
Exactly. Was Ghana colliding with Ijioye and feeling it a bit. Syracuse will head to Cal. Stanford will await Boston College for a game on Sunday. And then the Cardinal hit the road again. Big trip to Virginia Tech and Virginia. Again, these games so crucial, not only for the NCAA tournament, but you got to think about ACC tournament play as well. As there's a nice aggressive drive by Sanaya Wilson.
Right, only the top 15 get into the tournament. So for both Syracuse and Stanford, there's about 6 teams that are half a game to 1 game within each other in conference, fighting for those last few spots in the conference tournament. Yeah, a little carry by Tess. She thought about passing the ball, but Woolley did a nice job of getting out in the passing lane.
The Stanford schedule, we talked about how they had so many ranked teams in a row early on. They don't have many remaining in their schedule, which means you absolutely are supposed to beat these teams. But that doesn't always mean it's going to be easy, especially that road trip at Virginia Tech, Virginia. They'll finish with Miami and then ranked Georgia Tech. Those will be crucial for them to see if they will make their way potentially into the NCAA tournament.
When you're for Stanford, you have to win at home. They're hoping to have Nunu Aguirre back on Sunday. And then on the road, they have not played well. They're 1-8 on the road on the season, both in non-conference and in conference play. But those two, it's a long road trip. Those two games against Virginia Tech and Virginia will be crucial for their postseason seeding.
Sophie Burrows to the free throw line, just 4 points for her, 7 rebounds, a sophomore from Victoria, Australia. And her last 3 games, she's been averaging 22 points a game and shooting over 50%. She's had a tough night tonight and misses the free throws there, averaging 11 points per game on the season.
And credit to Stanford's defense. They did not give Burrow an opportunity for easy open looks. She shoots 36% from the three-point line, and she didn't have many opportunities on the day.
Yeah, the defense not giving her looks, and they're a takeaway by Syracuse. Woolley's just going to take it up. Left side, good. 18 for Woolley, and now full court pressure. Stanford with a win, trying to get to 500 at 12-12 with just under 3 minutes remaining. Woolley guarding Clardy. Knocked to the floor. Shot clock down to 2. Heel gets the shot off and misses the iron, and a shot clock violation. Much more aggressive play by Syracuse.
Good defense by Syracuse. Really, at the point of attack, put a lot of pressure on Clardy. Clardy's played 37, 38 minutes on the day already. She's got to be exhausted, both defensively, having to play, get out in passing lanes, and defend on the ball, and offensively be able to handle this Syracuse pressure.
Layup from Burrows, too much. And Dimitri thought there was a jump ball. Instead, they're going to call a reach-in foul. Dimitri and Wilson. Wilson wanted the jump ball, not going to get it. And so Stanford now in the bonus with 2:08 remaining.
When we take a look, we've talked about Stanford's offense. It's probably one of their best offensive displays here in conference play. And one of the things that's standing out to me, 20 assists. They're only averaging 14 assists on the season. And today they were again able to get into that fluidity of their offense, player movement, ball movement, attacking the rim off the dribble, spraying it out to wide open three-point shooters. That is Stanford basketball.
Yeah, that's a huge differential, and it's very much unlike Syracuse. I mean, they average 16 assists per game as a team, and they have just 8 of them tonight in this one. And now this time it will be a jump ball. Dimitri and Wilson going at it inside a little bit.
Well, Syracuse has had a difficult night shooting the ball. They had plenty of opportunities, but only 34% from the floor, 27% from the three-point line. And they simply weren't able to get the ball in the paint, whether it was off the dribble and bounce or to their post players to maybe open it up for their perimeter shooters.
Dimitri's going to take a seat. Kennedy Ume will check in, the freshman at 6'4". She's a 4-star recruit coming in from Columbia, Maryland. Cleaning it up. That's Burrows with the bucket. And a collision at the other end. Good sportsmanship there by Woolley to help up Ijiwoye.
Well, 2 of the best defenders on each team. Ijiwoye is one of Stanford's best defenders, and Woolley certainly does set the tone for Syracuse on the defensive end as well. So mutual respect and admiration.
Here is Shea Ijiwoye, the freshman from Phoenix, Arizona. To the line and gets the first point of the game. A couple rebounds. Got her 11th start of the season. Gets the free throws to go. Nice screen and curl for Potts, and she gives it up inside to Wilson as she gets fouled.
Third personal, number 6, Jake
13 foul on the Cardinal. So a minute and a half left in this one. If you're Syracuse, you just want to try to finish on a positive. You know, you've got Cal ahead of you on Sunday. Joye with the rebound.
Crowd enjoyed that from the smallest player on the court.
And I believe Coach Jack just got a technical. She had some words for the official as he was coming up the court. She thought there was too much contact underneath, and instead of a foul call, it'll go against her. So standing up for her team.
She is. It's been really physical. And sometimes you need to make sure you emphasize that point. When your team is playing as hard as they can and don't get rewarded with foul calls, it can be extremely frustrating.
Clardy gets the first. They'll have some things to work on. Syracuse will before they face the Cal Bears. Clardy gets both free throws.
And how about Cal? You know, Coach Sharman Smith has done an excellent job with that team this season, playing exceptionally well. It'll be a nice battle on Sunday.
Yeah, that is going to be a fun one. Just across the bay. Trapped in the corner. And the Cardinal able to break it.
Great effort and energy by Syracuse, trapping the ball.
Not giving up on it, and now the takeaway, Woolley. And they give it right back. She thought about throwing it way ahead and instead lost it. But this is the kind of energy that Syracuse will have to bring from the get-go on Sunday.
And it's for 40 minutes, right? No matter what the score is, play Syracuse basketball for 40 minutes.
This crowd's starting to make some noise here at Maples Pavilion. As Stanford's going to snap that losing streak that they had.
They continue to share the ball. And for those players coming in at this point in the game, continue to do the things that have been successful for your squad all day long.
Woolley can't get that one. Crowd on their feet here at Maples Pavilion. A much-needed win for the Stanford Cardinal. They move to 500, and they go to 12-12 overall. KP had a system, had a plan, and it worked. The team listening to the head coach to get this one done.
Yeah, this was a big win for Stanford. You get a lot of pressure on them. That streak has to be weighing on all of these players. They're aware of it. It's been talked about. But it's really important for them to get this win today. Great execution on both offensive end and defensively.
That is going to do it for us from Stanford. For Angela Taylor and Crystal Blanc, the Cardinal get the win over Syracuse. We're going to send it now to Nothing But Net. They're going to tell you all about everything happening in the ACC. Good night from Stanford.